Hey friend, in this video, I'm going to show you how you can get true clarity on your life, whether it's your business, your relationships, your health, your spiritual life, wherever, okay? Often we don't take the time to even sit and review what happened the last year. We just go on and then we create a list of things we want to try to do that we'll probably quit in a week or two. And then we'll kind of forget about them. And then come around the new time of year, you will then try it again, right? And it just never works out. And so I wanted to show you guys just a real way of where I kind of do a whole year review and I kind of cast some vision and get really clear on what I want for the next year. But who the heck am I? My name's Lucas. I own a company called Produce Perform, and it's a music production company. If you have nothing to do with music, that's okay. This YouTube channel will have nothing to do with music at all, I promise. But I produce Christian style music and mix and master and do all sorts of stuff audio wise. If you're interested in that, just go look it up. I do some cool stuff on YouTube for that as well. But in this video, what we're going to really focus on is how you can develop as a person and have a plan in place to develop in this year. So let's just dive in. So what I created, so I've been doing this every year where I kind of do like a whole review process. And so you can see on the screen here, I have this Life Clarity 2026 module. It is built in Notion and it is absolutely free. So if you look down below in the description or in the first comment, there will be a link for you to pick it up. It's absolutely free. If you guys have never used Notion before, no big deal. Notion is absolutely free. You just need to make an account to do this. And you will see in the top right, there'll be like a little duplicate icon that you click on that, and then you can be on your way. But I'm going to run through this real quick just to kind of give you guys an overview. And ultimately, I made this just so I can get clear on what I want and what I don't want. And so let's just kind of run through this. So the first thing you need to do is reflect and review. Oftentimes, we don't actually sit down and review the last year and, measure our progress, measure the good and the bad, right? Like it all matters. Okay. And so in this process, we are going to kind of just ask some hard questions. Hey, what worked? What didn't work? Go through this. Take some time. Don't expect to do this all in one day. And I mean all of it, like as in like all 4 sections or all 3 sections. But yeah, let's just kind of run through this. So what went well this past year and why? What went badly and why? And I guess I could put poorly. You can reword it. What are the top 3 lessons that I learned this year? What are the top 3 ways most valuable ways I spent my time? And how can I find more time for this? What were the 3 least valuable ways I spent my time? And how do I delete these things from my life? This is real, because if you want to add stuff to your life, you have to get rid of some stuff. Like we're so busy nowadays that you can't just continuously add things. It doesn't work. You get overwhelmed. There's too many things going on. And then you end up not doing anything at all because you're so overwhelmed. So take the time to actually think about, hey, what needs to be removed from my life for me to make room for these new things that I need to be doing? And then really hone in on, what brought me the most happiness? How can I help these activities happen more in my life? So like if you find, oh man, during this summer I went to the park, once or twice a week. And just getting out in the sun and just walking around, it just brought me so much happiness. Well, how can you make time to do that more often? What can you set aside? I mean, can you just not watch so much TV at night? Because, in the summertime we have more daylight, and then as, just moving on, who are the people that had the greatest impact on me this year? And really reminiscing on, maybe it goes back to some of those lessons that you learned and you had some crazy conversations with some people or some crazy moments that you want to recall and just think about and write down and remember. It's good to document these types of things. And then on the flip side is who had a bad impact on you? Can you find a way to spend less time with them? And how can you go about that without, being rude and being, offensive? How can you take that, time and spend it elsewhere? And that may be challenging because he may be a boss, it may be a family member. These are some hard questions, but also there's always a way. There's always a way to do this. Anyways, what goal did I expect to complete but failed to? It's a big one. And then that follow-up question is this still an important goal of mine? And if so, how can I make sure to follow through more likely? Sometimes you make a big goal for a year and you are like, yeah, this is what I want. And I'm going for it. But then you never really ask yourself whenever you don't get that goal, is like, did I really want it? Was it really that important to me? And I think those are some good questions to ask because it kind of just takes you through a whole sequence of what really matters to me. And this is the whole point of this, is like we're trying to get clear on what we actually want for our lives and what's good and what's bad. What are you most grateful for from this past year? I think oftentimes, like in the news, the bad things are so apparent and those are the things you remember most, but there are so many good things happening out in the world that you kind of just forget, man, some really amazing things happened this year and I'm so grateful that they did. Or maybe it was a bad thing that happened and you're grateful that it did happen because it taught you some really cool lessons, some hard lessons. And then who do I need to forgive from this year? Who do I need to forgive? It's a tough one because there's always people who do you wrong, right? There's somebody in your life that, man, I wish they wouldn't have done that. I wish they weren't like that. But you know what? Forgiveness has nothing to do with them. It only has to do with you. So take the time to really sit down, write that out, forgive people. And then last thing that I put on here is what things do I need to let go of so I can grow this coming year? So it's kind of what I was talking about before on the least valuable ways that you spent your time. But what are some things that you can get rid of or just let go of? I think there are things that we hold on to because they're habitual. And there are things that we've held on to because we were taught to hold on to them as children. And so it's a good time to just sit down and be like, well, what do I not need to hold on to anymore? What do I really need? Those are great questions. And then this last part, which I stole from Chris Williamson, so nobody come after me, but it's just quick little memories, like, the best surprise that happened to you, the best meal you had, coolest new experience. Maybe you went somewhere, favorite weekend, favorite new city that you went to, or a new emotion that you had. Maybe it's something that you've never experienced before. Maybe you found a new place to walk, you made a new friend, most intense week that you've ever had, favorite music, favorite quote, and you can list out your own. You can create more of your own just to highlight some of those memories so you don't forget them and you can kind of cherish them. And the reason I like Notion is because you can, just keep it all here. So once you get done with this part, then we're going to go into the what do you want part. So if we go back into the life clarity piece here, we go, what do you want? And this is the harder part. These questions kind of suck. And again, you don't have to do this all in one day. Do the reflect and review one day, do the what do you want one day, and then we'll do the clarity and action part maybe a different day. And this may take you several days, but it's worth it because you need to get clear. You need to know what you truly want, what you truly don't want to move forward because there's so many things happening that it pays to be clear. It pays to be clear. So what do you want section? And I just labeled this the hard questions. So what would 90-year-old me wish I did less of? And what would 90-year-old me wish I did more of? What are the things that I do to make a day or week go great? What are the things that make my days and weeks go terribly? All phenomenal questions. What do I think that is productive that isn't? So for me, since owning my own business, it feels productive to do things that don't pay the bills. And so that is one thing that I'm always like, man, I feel productive, but I didn't actually do anything that is bringing in revenue that is actually growing my business. It just felt good in the moment. And then what is productive that I don't realize? There are some things in your life that, like, man, every time I clean my kitchen or something, I just feel more at ease when I'm at home. I feel less tense, less stress. It can be little things like that. And then what do I want to do less with my time? So I think there's a lot of things that we do weekly and we do monthly and we do daily. And we're like, man, I don't even enjoy doing this. And it's good to call those things out because maybe you can find a way to not do it. Maybe you can pay someone. Maybe you can find an easier way. Maybe there's an app for that, right? Hello? Yeah, I did. Yeah, no, you're good. Thank you. Love you. And then I feel like there's a lot of things that we always talk about what we want to do. There's always like, man, what do I want to do with my time? Like, what do I want to do more of? Do I want to read more? Do I want to go on more walks? Do I want to just spend some time in the stillness and the quiet? Write all those down. Like maybe, like you know what? I want to go and play more golf or something. Like it can be as whatever. It doesn't really matter. Just list all those things out. You have to get clear. And then back to being these tough questions is what tough conversations do I need to have? We all need to have tough conversations. There's always a conversation that we're avoiding. And it's from my experience and from my downfall of it, from me not having the conversations and then to finally having them, it is such a relief to have the conversation. And it's never as bad as you think it's going to be most of the time. I mean, there might be some unreasonable people out there, but have the tough conversation. What habits are stopping me from what I want? So we all have a billion habits and we've all picked up bad habits. For example, for me, and we'll get into this a little bit later, but I overeat. I'm an overeater. Now I work out very consistently, so I think that's what keeps me from being obese. But I have a terrible habit of overeating. I have to finish what's on my plate. I have to get a big plate. All this stuff. It is a terrible habit that I've been wanting to kick for my whole life, but it's ingrained in me. It's been in me since I was a kid. I always finished my food, and that's just one of those things that I have to sit down and kick. And so you'll see, I'll whenever we run through an example of the clarity and action section, stay tuned for that. You will actually see me kind of walk through some of that. So and then last but not least, I'm a Christian. So this last question is, was I obedient to what Jesus asked of me this year? Why or why not? And yes and no. There were some things I was very obedient in, and there were some things I was not so obedient in. Now, the last part of this section is casting vision into the future and kind of looking at it from, hey, what would future you say to you now? And this is a very powerful exercise because it brings you out of your own head, it brings you out of your own presentness, and puts you into a future self where it's like you've already accomplished all these things. You've already grown. You've already transformed into this person that you're trying to be. What would that person say to you now? And so, future you 2026, what would have had to have happened by the end of next year for me to look back on the year and consider it a success? What do I need to become for next year's chapter of my life story to turn out the way I would write it? Knowing what I know now, at the end of next year, what advice would I give to myself 12 months ago? So, you accomplishing your goals and all this stuff by the end of next year, what would you have told yourself on day one? And then this is one of my favorites. I got this from Graham Cochran, which I think he got it from someone else. But anyways, super powerful. If we hadn't seen each other, so like say like me and you, we're friends, which if you're watching the video, we're friends. I love you. If we hadn't seen each other for over 3 years, okay, just say this. This is hypothetical, okay? We hadn't seen each other for over 3 years, and I saw you in an airport, and I asked, hey, how have you been? I haven't seen you for 3 years. And you tell me, this has been the best 3 years of my life. What would have happened in those 3 years for you to have said that to me? What would you tell me about? What would have happened? Write all of it down. All of it. What would make it the best 3 years of your life? Whether it's business, health, relationships, your walk with the Lord, whatever. Just write it all down. Write it all down. Okay. And then the last section, clarity and action. So this is where the work, there's a lot of work is going to come in here, okay? And I have this split up into 5 sections, business/work. Now, if you're a business owner or we used to have a regular job, it's still going to work either way. So you don't have to be a business owner to fill this out or whatever. Relationships, and we're talking, family, friends, whatever, health, spiritual, and personal skill. I am a big I'm a big fan. What's an apt? Of having personal skills, like just little things where you just get a little bit better. Maybe it doesn't have anything to do with your work, but just getting better at something, like a little side hobby or something, I love that. I love that stuff. Anyways, we're going to go through the business and work one because I feel like this is the most, obvious one. People always want more money, right? And so here is something that's probably going to throw a little people off, but I only try to focus on one big goal per year. Because if I have all these different business goals, that means my work and my focus on what that is being pulled this way or is being pulled that way. And I don't want to be pulled in any specific way. I want to have one goal and work from that one goal. Now, you should probably make it a big goal and, make it so that it's worth getting by the end of the year, right? And let me tell you, getting to the end of the goal doesn't really matter. It's about the process that gets you there and about the person you become. So now, the first question after that is, what are the top 3 ways I would have to be to become the type of person that reaches this goal? Because this is ultimately what matters, is not the goal itself, but the person that you become in the process. And so, who would you have to be? And so if your goal is to be like, man, I want to start making $10,000 a month with my business, well, you'd have to probably be committed, disciplined, resourceful. That could be your top 3. Maybe not. Maybe you're already some of those things and you need to be some other things to get there. And then what are 3 habits that I would have to create to make this a reality? So that's it. Like, this is real. Like, this is where the real work is happening, is what would you have to habitualize in yourself to become the type of person that creates the type of results that would end in the goal? It's a tough question. Tough question. Maybe habitually you have to show up on time every day. You'd have to habitually create a routine where you get a certain amount of work done. You have a certain amount of, focused time together. You have to get the habit of focus to where you can focus on the things that you need to focus on. Now, the next one is kind of where we dive in a little bit deeper, is what steps would you need to take to make this goal a reality? And we're talking like breaking it down. Like, we're really breaking it down. Because here's the thing is, if you have a goal to make $10,000 a month with your business and you don't even have a website, or you have this whole list of things and you're like, oh, I'm only making $500 a month. 10,000 seems like a freaking mountain to climb. Okay. Now, just to be clear, I'm not even making $10,000 a month in my business. I'm doing fine, but not that good. And so this is probably going to be one of my goals for my business. And so we're just going to I'm not going to write everything down, but I am just going to kind of show it to you guys. And so one thing, and so write down all those steps, like just break it down. Write down all those steps and just break it down, like even as like super far. So like literally, hey, I need to build a website. I need to build the product. I need to connect a payment processor. Like you need to write everything down, because a lot of those things, like connecting a payment processor, it may take you like an hour one day. Okay, but maybe you set aside 4 hours that day. Now, awesome, you knocked that one thing off your list. You get some momentum. But if you just look at the goal of making $10,000, you're like, oh gosh, how am I supposed to do that? Break it down. Break it as far down as you can. And I'll show you an example of this here in a second. And then next is, what systems or processes can I create to make things automatic or simpler to reach this goal? Now, you may not need to do this right this second in this moment, but if there's any systems you're like, oh man, that'd be cool if I could create a system where anytime a customer filled out this form, it automatically did this or that or whatever, just stuff like that. What would I need, who would I need to reach out to for help or clarity on how to reach this goal? So we always need help. There's a billion people out in the world who are better than you and have already done it, okay? And there's a lot of people offering that information for free, or like on YouTube, like this, or they are, they have courses or something, right? And so that's the next question, is what books and courses would I need to invest in to enhance my journey of reaching this goal? Now, just look at the phrasing of the question, to enhance my journey. I'm not really focusing on accomplishing the goal. I'm focusing on the journey part of who you're going to become in this process of accomplishing the goal. Because again, I'm going to hone in on that. That is what matters. That is what matters the most, okay? And then last thing is that you want now copy each step from above. So say you created, you had 10 or whatever, there's just 10 here in the template, but you had 10 things, right? You would copy them down here, and then you would literally break each step down even further, because you may have put a step down that's like creating a website for your business. But if you've never created a website, not making $10,000 a month is a mountain, but then even creating a website can seem like a freaking mountain to climb. Okay, so I did just a quick example, and this is in the template, so you guys can review it. But so maybe your step one is creating a new website for your business. Well, you need to find a website host, right? You need to research websites in your niche and find one that you like the look of, that you can kind of emulate it, right? Doesn't have to be the exact same, but just get something close, get some inspiration, right? And then number 3, you need to find someone to design it. Or if you're going to design it yourself because you're bootstrapping it and you don't have a lot of cash to pay someone to do that, which, by the way, I've never asked someone to design a website for me because I've never been able to afford it. Maybe I can now, but that's besides the point. Literally find a YouTube video where you can create it yourself. Like literally my first website, I think, was on Squarespace or something, and they're not sponsoring or anything. But and I just had to figure it out. And a lot of these website builders now are so simple, where you can get things up and running, where you can at least get a contact form and get people to go to a website and see what you're all about and get a hold of you if they want to work with you. And then you need to create a list of all the pages that you need. And then just literally focusing on one page at a time, finishing that page, moving on to the next one, moving on to the next one, moving on to the next one. Don't keep looking at it as, I need to finish this whole website today. It's like, no, just finish one page, finish the about page today. Finish the cart or the shopping page today. Maybe you have a shopping section. Finish the contact form page. Don't always look at it as a mountain. Just set aside and keep breaking it down until you're like, okay, I can actually do this today. I can do these 3 steps today. And then you just keep knocking those steps out. And the reason we break it down is because, again, you have this huge mountain to climb. And then, that's literally actually what I just said for step 5. Okay. So, all of these 5 are pretty much the same type of thing. Some things are worded a little bit differently, but it's pretty much the same: health, spiritual, personal skill. Personal skill is like, learn a new language or learn to play guitar or start a YouTube channel. Health is same, eating healthy meals, working out, whatever the goal is. So what we're going to do is we are going to do health together for me. So for me, my goal for this year is I want to get down or lean down to 175 pounds. And I will even put currently at 203, last I checked. Now, I've been down to 175, felt incredible. And I wasn't even doing like hardcore dieting. I was just way more disciplined. So, what are the top 3 ways that I would have to be to become this person that reaches this goal? Well, I'd have to be disciplined. Disciplined. And I'm going to put mainly in my eating because my working out is actually not bad. Actually not bad. And then I would have to be consistent. You have to consistent, like with working out, it's like you can have 2 weeks of killer workouts, but if you're not staying consistent for like 3 to 6 months, you won't see that big of a change. You got to stay consistent. And then what else? What way would I have to be disciplined, consistent, and see how tough this even is for me, because I feel like there's a lot of things that I could put down, but I'm not sure in the top 3, because the reason I put top 3 is because you could put like 12 things. And again, you're overwhelmed. I mean, you're immediately overwhelmed. You're like, oh gosh, I have to be 12 different things. It's like, no, be these 3 things and then move on. So disciplined, consistent, and I would say forgiving. And I'll explain that in a second. So what 3 habits would I have to create to make this a reality? So I would say eating a proper amount of food, and I'm going to put, I think, roughly 2,600 calories or less for me. Or actually, I probably shouldn't do that. I'm trying to get specific. So we'll do 2,300 to 2,600 calories for me per day. Calories per day. What 3 habits would I have to create? Consistent workout weeks. So my weeks were a little scattered this past year, where I was sometimes I was getting 2 workouts in, sometimes I was getting 5, and just more consistency there is just getting the exercise in will be good. I mean, I never really missed a week unless I was like sick or something, but man. And then what last habit that I could create, I'm going to put walking 10K steps per day or more. Because all of these I can track. You want habits that you can track. Okay, that's really what ultimately matters. And then what 3 habits would I need to drop? So overeating, that's the first one. Overeating on mainly my dinner meals. I'm just gonna put on my meals. And then we're going to put sweets, cutting out cutting out sweets, because I love cookies. I love scones. Pretty much anything Reese's I love. So cutting out sweets, and I'm going to put and limiting sugar overall. And then I would say probably watching less TV. There were definitely nights with the family where we would watch TV, and I hadn't even gotten like 5,000 steps that day. Like, I needed to just get up and move, and it could just be a simple walk, and it was like nice outside, right? Like, it really wasn't that bad. And so, what steps would I need to take to make this goal a reality? And then break it down. And so I'm going to do this really fast. I probably won't do like all the steps that I would need to, just for the sake of the length of the video. But what steps would I need to take to make this goal a reality? Well, first things first is get an eating plan together. And then we're going to get a workout plan together. And then we're going to get a walking plan together, because I love to walk, and walking is really good for your health, and it's one of those things that I've kind of gone away from. I used to be really great at it. Get a walking plan together. Even maybe find a workout buddy, which I actually do have someone lifting with me right now, which has been so much better. Try not to work out alone if you can. It's actually, I've realized it's a lot better to work out with people because they will push you. And you can push them, and it's just better. And it's honestly, as much as I love sitting in my headphones with during a workout and stuff, it's good for a little bit, but it gets too much, and then I start to tail off and not really push myself. Anyway, so we're just going to do that for an example, but you can break that down even further. Who would I need to reach out to help for this? For clarity on how to reach this goal. So find somebody in your life who's super lean and is killing it. So I'm just going to actually give him a shout out here. Brandon Caldwell would be the guy that I would ask because he's killing it. He started his own fitness company. He is in incredible shape, and man, like he would be a guy that I'd just give a call and be like, hey man, I'm trying to do this, trying to do that. And he would probably give me a killer plan or some tips, or if I'm struggling. So find someone like that, whether it's someone in your life or someone not in your life. What books or courses would I need to enhance my journey in reaching this goal? So someone that I really like is Greg O'Gallagher for working out. And so I would look at Greg O'Gallagher workouts and eating plans. And then, so that would be courses and stuff. And books, I like, I'd have to do some research on that because I don't have very many books that I've read on eating, but probably any books on fasting, because I want to limit my calorie intake, and so I can eat bigger meals if I fast. So that is my thought process. So this is an example for the 10K steps a day, if that's the goal, right? But so for me, the goal is to get down to 175. And so let's just say I want to get a workout plan together. So I kind of already have this planned out, which I need to go here. So copy, come down, paste this here. And so get a workout plan together. There's probably a better way to do this. All my Notion people will know how to do this better, but we'll just come down here and I'm just gonna go like we're gonna do a heading here. And so for me, we're just gonna say Monday will be my pull day. And so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do weighted pull-ups, 3 sets. And then we're gonna do isolated rows, 3 sets. And then I'm going to do, what should we do next? Do hammer curls for 3 sets, and so on. Like, you guys get what I'm saying? And then Tuesday, we're going to do a interval run where I run 2 minutes, walk 1 minute, times 10 times. And basically, I will actually literally put down a whole plan in place so that come this random Friday, I wake up and I've been so busy, I don't know what's going on, but I know I have to hit my workout. I don't have to think about what I'm doing that day. I can just revert to what the plan that I made. And you can do this for your eating. You can do this for your walking. Now, for me, and for a lot of other people who own businesses, it's almost impossible to have a consistent schedule. I don't think I've ever had a consistent schedule in my life, even if I did have a job. So, having this in place, maybe you don't have the exact time you're going to do it, but I do have my workouts on the calendar. I do put all this on my calendar. And so once you get all this kind of worked out, you go through each step, you get exactly clear on what you need to do each day, each week, each month to take those steps to move forward. And so this is why this works so well. It takes time and it takes work, but it's so worth it. And so again, it's free down below. You guys can pick it up. And I really hope it blesses you. I put my contact in the file, so my email. So if you guys want to reach out to me, you guys can. And just let me know, hey, I enjoyed it, I hated it. You could add this to it, and it'd be really impactful. There's also a resources section here with some books and some links to some apps that I use that I really find help me for habit tracking and for workouts. So I hope it blesses you guys, and I hope that you guys have an incredible next year. I love you. Bye.